Let's make a vegan fajita casserole. Welcome back to the Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show, where we make plant-based cooking easy. I'm Jill, and we are making a delicious fajita casserole today, which just so happens to be the #1 winning vote of our supporting members. It was actually for a Mexican casserole, but I just decided to turn it into a fajita casserole because fajitas are awesome. So we're gonna jump right in. The printable recipe link will be in the details below. So we're gonna start with, I've got 1 large onion that I've diced. I've got 1 red bell pepper diced, and I've also got a poblano pepper. You could use, if you can't find a poblano pepper at your store, you can just use another bell pepper, an orange one or a green one, or another red one, that's fine. I just really love the flavor that these poblanos add to this dish. So we're just gonna start by getting these sauteed. And you know, when you get fajitas, you know how the peppers and the onions are kind of sliced in long, thin slices? For this casserole, I chose to dice them up a little bit because after taste testing them a couple times with my husband, Jeffrey, we realized it was hard to eat it like a casserole with those long strips in there, so we just diced them up like this. So you're just gonna saute these, you know, like you would fajita vegetables. Get them a little bit almost charred. So it takes probably about 5 minutes on high. And then I'll show you our other ingredients. Okay, our onions and peppers are just about done here. So now I'm going to add, this is 1.5 cups of Butler Soy Curls soaked with 1.5 cups of vegetable broth. If you can't get Butler Soy Curls, or if you don't like them, you can also do my little technique with the mushrooms, where you put sliced mushrooms on a baking tray on parchment paper in the oven on 400 degrees for about ½ an hour, just to dry out some of that moisture, and it gives you that really nice chewy texture. So you can use those instead, or you could just use a can of beans too. So I'm just going to add that in there along with that liquid, and I'm going to do the juice of half of a lime, just to give it some little tangy flavor. And you're just going to cook this until all of that moisture is absorbed. And I'm also going to put a little bit of cracked pepper in there. Okay, so I'm going to let this sit here and cook, and I'm going to get out my other ingredients, and I'll show you how to do the next step. Moving on to the sauces, there are 2 sauces. We're gonna make a green chili red sauce and a kind of cheesy smoky sauce. So we're gonna do the red sauce first. This is 6 ounces of tomato paste. And I believe it's 3 or maybe 4 ounces. This is just canned green chilies. If you can find them fresh, that's great too, but these are just very, very convenient. And you can find them in just about any supermarket. A ½ teaspoon of cumin and 3/4 cup of water. Just a very simple, basic red sauce. So we're just going to blend that up until it's a really nice, creamy sauce. Okay. Now we will make our smoky cheesy sauce. I need to rinse this off first. Okay, so the same thing, we're just gonna put these all in the blender and blend it until it's really creamy. So 2/3 cup of cashews, and if you don't have cashews, or if you have an allergy, you could use almonds, or even sunflower seeds would work. 1 teaspoon of Bragg's liquid aminos, or you could use tamari. 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and the juice of 1 lime. And that's going to give it a really nice, tangy, zingy flavor. Just really gives it that freshness. Just like squeezing lime juice over your fajitas before you eat them. There we go. And then ½ cup of water. Okay, so there's our two sauces. I'm gonna grab the rest of the ingredients and then we can get on to assembly. While we're waiting for that, I'd like to share some background on our show. The Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show is crowd-funded, which means these free weekly recipe videos, along with our entire catalog of free printable recipes on our website, plantbasedcookingshow.com, and our Plant-Based Cooking Made Easy cookbook series, are all made possible in part by the generous patronage of our supporting membership community. So if you love our recipes, I invite you to join us on our mission to make plant-based cooking easy, and follow the link in the description to become a supporting member today. There's no denying the plant-based diet is a nutrient powerhouse, but did you know there are a handful of hard-to-get nutrients even well-crafted diets are often lacking? The latest research suggests that complementing your diet with a few specific vitamins, minerals, and omega-3s will help boost your energy and keep you thriving for the long term. That's why my daily health routine includes Complement Essential. Complement Essential contains the 8 critical nutrients lacking from most plant-based diets in dosages optimized specifically for us. Plus, Complement is completely transparent about ingredient sourcing and third-party testing, publishing the results directly on their website. As a special discount for our viewers, just use code PLANTBASEDEASY at checkout to save 15% off of your order. Okay, so now we're ready for assembly. So at this point you want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees. So I'll tell you what I've got here. So this is our fajita mix, all finished. Our 2 sauces. Then I've got 8 tortillas. These are my homemade tortillas, and we'll give you a link in the details below to that show if you want to check that out. But you could also use prepackaged corn tortillas too. And then I have about 1.5 cups of some fire roasted corn. We just like that added in there. You don't have to put that in there, but it is really delicious. So we're going to start out with 4, and this is just like a brownie sized casserole dish. Whatever casserole dish you have is fine. It just needs to probably be about that size. I think this is about 9 by 9, something around there. So you put your 4 tortillas on the bottom, and then you just start layering. So half of the fajita mix goes on. Oh, it smells so good already, and it's not even baked yet. All right. Just evenly spread that around. Sprinkle a little bit of corn, about half again. Then just a little bit of each of the sauces. And we'll go with our cheese sauce too. And that will help it all really stick together well by putting this in the inside layer. We're also going to put it on top, but this inside layer, having the sauces in there, will help it stick together so when you scoop your piece out, that it doesn't all just fall to pieces. And then I just smear it around a little bit, spread it around. And then you put your remaining 4 tortillas just on top. And then layer the rest of your ingredients. And since it's fall, this is really the perfect time to crack out those casseroles, those warm, comforting dishes. Just make you feel warm inside when it's so cool outside. Spread that around. Sprinkle the rest of your corn. And then the rest of that sauce. And I'm just going to pour them together, and then when I spread it around, they just kind of mix together and swirl together a little bit. Okay, now all that's left to do is get it into the oven, and we're gonna put it in the oven for, on 375 for about 40 minutes. All right, our casserole is finished. If you wanna come in and take a look. So all that's left is to let it cool, and then I'll meet you at the table for a taste. Okay, let's go in for a taste. And I couldn't wait. It's still very hot, so hopefully I don't burn myself. All right, ooh, yeah, it's steaming hot. Look at that. All right. Ooh. So delicious. You're gonna love it. Come on back next week for another great recipe.